Hello CCMS. We're coming to you today to tell you a little bit about Veterans Day. And let me start by saying thank you to all you veterans out there. We really do appreciate your service. And to tell you guys a little bit about the history of Veterans Day, it dates all the way back to 1919. At the end of World War I, on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, all the countries involved in World War I signed what's called an armistice, which ended effectively the fighting of World War I and created peace. And in order to celebrate that Armistice Day, the U.S. decided to make today very special. And over the years, to include other veterans from other wars like World War II and Korea, they decided to make today be called Veterans Day. And so that's why we are coming to you guys today to just celebrate those veterans and thank them for their service and the sacrifices that they've made.
Hi, I'm Gary Boswell. I served in the Army Reserves for 8 years. Veterans Day, I think when I think about veterans, I think about heroes, and I think about the people who lost their life, gave all for us to have all these freedoms that we hold, so we cherish so much. I think that's why I joined, and I'm just thankful for what they gave up for all of us.
I'm Kelly Patterson, and I teach 8th grade language arts here at Campbell County Middle School. And I am here to speak with you briefly about being an Air Force wife for the past 16 years, I guess. First of all and foremost, I have to say that being a military wife is such a sense of pride. It is just, every day seeing him go off to work at whatever base we were stationed in was a pretty awesome thing as a wife to see. And putting him on an airplane 2 different times to go to Afghanistan for 7 months a whack, that was also a sense of pride, but of course to my daughter and I it was, pretty sad too. But just knowing that he was sacrificing himself for our country and just for the safety and security of our country sure is a great feeling. But we are now out of the Air Force. He's a veteran, and I'm still a very proud military wife. Happy Veterans Day, and thank you to everyone who has served and is serving.
Hey Camels, it's Captain Daniels. I just want to talk to you just for a few minutes about Veterans Day and what that means to me and my family. I come from a family of military veterans. Both grandfathers were in the Navy. One was at CB, and he was in the islands during World War II, working on airfields and port facilities and stuff like that. And then my other grandfather served on a destroyer. In fact, there's a Tom Hanks movie out called Greyhound, and that's what my grandfather did. He was on one of those ships. And as far as what it means to me, my dad was also in the Army Reserves, and I guess growing up, from a young age, I just knew that that's something I needed to do. It came from within. And serving my country, duty, honor, integrity, all those things just were natural to me. Even as a kid, I was in the Boy Scouts, I was a leader in the Boy Scouts, so it was just kind of a natural progression for me to join the military. And in fact, I joined in 1986. I was still in high school. My mom was not thrilled, but she signed the paperwork anyway. And I started off working with helicopters, as a helicopter mechanic, and then eventually went through officer training. I was a crew chief on helicopters before that, Black Hawk helicopters, and then I went to OCS, got my commission as a lieutenant, went into tanks or armor, and served there for about 10 years. Went into the active Navy and actually worked on anti-submarine aircraft. I was an electronics technician, so I traveled to the Mediterranean. I did some missions in Saudi Arabia, and that's when I came back to the Army and went through officer candidacy. I miss it every day. It's just fantastic feeling to serve your country and do great things. Even when we've been overseas, we helped civilians in war-torn Bosnia. We looked for landmine projects, looking for mass graves, hunting down bad guys. Just really fulfilling stuff. it means a lot to me, and always will the rest of my life. Thanks.
Hello everyone, my name is Mr. Young. I'm a student teacher from NKU. This is my first year here at Campbell County Middle School. I previously served in the Marine Corps, and I was in there for a little over 4 years. My rank was a corporal, and Veterans Day to me is just a day to remember all of those who served before me and did what they did for our country. Thank you. Have a good day.
Hey everyone, Mr. Crowley here. Just wanted to take this opportunity to wish everyone a happy Veterans Day, especially those in the community who are veterans who have served. I'm proud to say I did my small part. For me, it was about tradition. My father was in the Korean War, and so I joined the U.S. Army as well. And it was about being something bigger than myself as well. So it's important to keep in mind today, and I especially try to keep in mind today on this day of those who paid the ultimate sacrifice, and that's those who've lost their lives. With freedom comes responsibility, and many of the freedoms we enjoy today are as a direct result of that sacrifice. So it's important to keep those who lost their lives in mind as well. And we can do this. We can earn that sacrifice by our words, actions, the way we treat each other. So I encourage everyone today to, if you have your parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, neighbors, to reach out and say thanks. Thanks for them for service. And also we can't forget those around the world today who are still serving, who are out there on the front lines protecting our freedoms. And for those students out there, I also encourage you to, many of you may not know this, but we actually have a Veterans Memorial here on campus. It's dedicated to those who served in World War II and lost their lives. So when you're on your mass break today, you probably walk by this every day and not take the time to read the name. So I encourage you today, especially today on Veterans Day, to, as you walk by on your mass breaks, go over there, look at the names, and kind of reflect on the sacrifice they made. And who knows, maybe the name sounds familiar. Maybe, they may be some of your ancestors. So I encourage you to do that. So thank you for listening to this. And once again, thanks for all those veterans out there who have served.
Good morning. My name is Jackie Wright, and I would just like to wish all of the veterans out there a very happy Veterans Day, but especially one close to my heart, my dad. Smiley was his name. Daddy was in the Korean War, and he was also based in California. And the job that Daddy had during the Korean War was with communications. And he never did talk much about his time, but he did talk about his specialty that he learned during the time he was in the Army, which was spaghetti and meatballs, the best ever. Thank you to all of the veterans out there. We love you.
Hi, CCMS Camels. Miss Shook and I would like to give a shout out to our father, Jerry Sanfis, on Veterans Day. He served in the Vietnam War, and he was a member of the 101st Airborne Infantry Screaming Eagles. Dad, we're so proud of you. We love you.
I want to thank my military veteran, Grandpa Justice, because he served in Korean War and fought for freedom.
I just want to say thank you to all of our veterans, and especially my uncle. His name is Brandon Pope.
Happy Veterans Day, especially Happy Veterans Day to my grandfather.
Happy Veterans Day. I just want to say thank you for my dad being in the military, and thank you for my uncle being in the Marines.
Say happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there, and thank you for your service, and especially to my grandfather and my uncle.
Veterans Day to my uncle, Johnny. He is in the Air Force.
Happy Veterans Day to my great grandpa. He was in World War II. Happy Veterans Day to my grandpa and my uncle. Happy Veterans Day, Papa. Happy Veterans Day to my cousin Jason that lives in California. Happy Veterans Day to my Uncle Mike. I say thank you to my Uncle Greg, and thank you for being in our bed. Thank you, Dad, for all that you did for us, and I love you and miss you so much.
Thank you, Grandpa.
Thank you, Dad, for being a veteran. Veterans Day, Papa.
Happy Veterans Day, Uncle Ben.